Welcome back, FamilyAffaires.com expert contributor, Dr. Dan Gottlieb. Welcome back.
Yes, I'm happy to be back, always happy to be back.
And it's always great to be with you. Dr. Dan, I want to share something with you and I want to talk about it today. Just recently, I've had a couple of people share, and I've had some things going on in my life. And I know when we go back and forth with topics and what we're going to talk about, and just last night we were emailing each other, and that's how quickly we prepare for our videos. But oftentimes people will ask us, when is it time? And the when is it time relates to so many different things. So I'm going to share with you, within the past week, I've had a conversation with someone who asked me, how do you know when is it time to get divorced? I had a conversation with a woman who, unfortunately, her mom had a stroke and was brain dead, and she was put on life support, but her mother didn't want to be put on life support, and they had to pull the plug. When is it time that you make that decision to pull the plug? And also people experiencing elderly parents. And when is it time to step in for them and make decisions for them, because they can no longer make decisions? So, we were talking about this through the email. There are so many questions. When is it time? So let's talk about that a little bit today, because these are so many different when is it time that everybody struggles with.
Well, we're doing the right thing. We are talking about it.
Right.
There's no answers.
No, there is no magic answer.
It's important to talk about, and I guess what strikes me as I think about it is infants know when it's time to walk, to let go of whatever's holding them. They know when it's time. They know when it's time, with few exceptions, for potty training. They know. They know when it's time to run away from mommy or daddy, and run around the corner. To test, independence. They know.
And why do they know?
I think, look, if we're going to be reductionistic, they know because that's part of the wiring, it's part of the growth process. But they also know, because they don't have a lot of mental processes going on that interferes with what they know.
Don't you think, though, it's just simply, like I put it down to, it's a feeling they have. It's intuition. They let go of the chair when they're ready to walk because they feel safe. They feel secure in themselves.
Right.
They make the decision. They can do it. They can walk.
Right.
So really, as we get older, and we've discussed this before, if we simply block out all of that other noise and listen to ourselves, don't we really know deep down inside, if we listen to our gut, when it's time?
Yeah.
I mean, if I think about it, from personal experience, I was sharing with a person I was having a conversation about divorce. The advice I always give to everybody is do absolutely everything you can to save the marriage before you walk away from it.
Right.
But I think everybody who makes the choice to go through divorce, deep down in your gut whether it's time or not.
There's a naturalist, I think it might have been Desmond Morris, that said, in nature, there are no rights and wrongs, only decisions and consequences.
Right.
It's that stark. Decisions and consequences. I'm struggling with this discussion.
Why?
Well, I recently had a series of events in my van that I've been driving virtually since my accident. I've been driving for 30-some years since my accident. Couple of incidences. And some of it's related to PTSD. You know, I had that accident 3.5 years ago where I was thrown out of my wheelchair. And it impacted my driving. Less secure behind the wheel, more anxious behind the wheel. And, you know, I got some treatment for PTSD, but it was bigger than that. So there were several times when I lost control of the brake. And I didn't get in an accident, but I could have. And I knew that it was getting to be time. And this is a silent struggle I had for 3 years. And then I had an incident about 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. Also minor. But as a result of this incident, I was stuck in the van for 2 hours. And when I was towed out, I spoke with Joan, my lady friend, my SO. And I said, it's time. It's time. And I did it first for the community, and I did it second for Joan, for my daughters, for her daughters. I don't want to put them in a position of coming up to me and saying, Dan. I struggled with it for a long time. In hindsight, should I have given it up earlier? I don't know, maybe. Decisions and consequences, you know, thank God that I didn't get hurt, that nobody got hurt. I kept telling myself, there's going to be a time when I'm going to have to give it up. But I don't know what I was thinking, an accident or one more incident? I don't know. My mind didn't quite go that far. But I knew, and maybe I did give it up too late. I don't know.
But you did them a wonderful service
I
by
did.
you making the decision to do it and not having them to have to ask you to do it.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I did it. And I don't have regrets about doing it.
Was the thought of doing it worse than actually doing it now?
Yes. Yeah, and I don't want to minimize, you know.
No.
I mean, in a way, I'm relieved. I really am. But,
And you probably like being driven around now.
well, not so much, not so much. But, you know, I lose the independence, and it is a gargantuan pain in the ass, but much less so than I expected. So it did get me thinking, you know, when is it time? When is it time to retire? When is it time to take your parents' keys away? When is it time to have the big talk with your parents or even your children? When is it time?
I think it's important that we all try to keep communication constantly going and not have it be the big talk, the one time. I think it's important to always keep these talks,
Right.
even just little tidbits, even just finding out how your parents feel about these things. You don't have to sit down and have the big talk, but really just understand how they feel about certain things. And it helps a lot.
Those 3 words that change dialogue.
Yeah.
What's it like? What's it like to be you?
Mm-hmm.
What's it like? My mother drove until we had to just take her keys away.
Wrestle her down and remove the keys from her hand.
My
Yeah.
father, one day I went to visit him. He handed me his car keys and his checkbook. He says, I can't do my banking and I can't drive. It was great of him. It scared the hell out of me, but sorry.
Yeah.
Difference between people, you know, and
Yeah. My dad gave up driving. My mom, she's watching this. I'll be wrestling her to the floor at 95.
yeah.
So it's different for everybody, but I think the important message is to keep communication going all the time.
Yeah, and to trust the message coming from inside your body, from your heart. I mean, that message was coming to me. You know, I mean, I had a dream of that I was going to go through a red light and lose control. And don't you know, 2 months later, I went to that exact red light and that exact thing happened. I mean, that was my body mind saying, wake up.
There was the sign.
Trying to slap me upside my head.
And it did.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.